Hi, in this video we're going to talk about branched substituents that come off of a main carbon chain. This is an area that oftentimes students get a little confused about. There's really just a couple of these that you really need to know. There are quite a few of them, but we're just going to focus on a couple of them. So let's look at a compound that has one of these branched substituents and figure out how we're going to name this. Okay, so let's take a look at something that looks like this. So notice this molecule has what appears to be a fairly long chain. Let's just count these carbons and make sure that this is in fact our parent chain. So this is carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now let's just verify that 9 is the longest chain. Let's go from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so definitely this is not our longest chain. Our longest chain is here. It's got 9 carbons. So I'd probably number like this. But the question is, how do I now name a substituent that is not a simple straight alkane, like a methyl, ethyl, or propyl group? This is a branched substituent. So notice it like connects now in the middle of a 3-carbon substituent. So this group, it's got 3 carbons to it, but notice it's not a straight chain 3-carbon. This is called an isopropyl. P-R-O-P-Y-L. Iso meaning different, so it's different than a regular propyl or straight chain 3-carbon group. So this is an example of one of these branch chains that you really should know. So there are several of these so-called branched chains that you do need to know. Let me just list these out. So the first one is this. So this little squiggly line just means it's now connected to some other part of the molecule. So this 3-carbon we just saw is called an isopropyl. That's a fairly simple one. Let's look at another one. Okay, what if I have this sort of group? Notice there's 1, 2, 3, 4 carbons. So it's kind of like a butane or a butyl group, but it's not connected to the end of it. It's connected to the middle carbon. So this is referred to as an isobutyl. It's also sometimes referred to as a sec-butyl. You might see that in some of the older literature, or some drug nomenclature might have something like that on there. But it's called isobutyl because, again, it's a different butyl group. It's not the straight chain coming off it. And then the last one that you really should know is a pretty common group. Looks like this. It's actually got a central carbon with no hydrogens, and then 1 methyl, 2 methyl, 3 methyls. So it's got 3 methyls coming off of it. This is called a tert-butyl, or tertiary butyl group, often abbreviated as T-butyl. Oh, and I should mention that this isopropyl is sometimes just listed as lowercase I propyl, as is the isobutyl. This is sometimes listed as lowercase I butyl. So these would be the 3 sort of branch chains that you definitely should know when it comes to structures. And let's just do one simple example now where we have one of these. So let's name this particular compound. Again, numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's verify that is the longest chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, yeah, so this is the longest chain. And we just saw that this branched chain, this is one of these tertiary butyl groups. So this would be 4 tert-butyl. And then we have our long parent chain, which is an octane. Okay, so this represents now the branched substituent, and it's coming off the 4-carbon. One last point, these little prefixes, either a lowercase t or a lowercase I, those do not count for the alphabetization priority. Okay, so you just ignore that. You would look at the first letter of whether it's butyl or propyl. when it comes to that. All right, so that's it for branched substituents.